This would be the main event, gentlemen.
Yeah.
And I hope you guys are ready.
Big fucking fight. Okay, let's break this down. Brendan Schaub, Eddie Bravo, and Brian motherfucking Callen. What do you guys think? Start with Brian.
What, me?
Yeah.
What do I say?
What do you think?
I mean, look, here's the problem.
There's no problems yet.
Rory's trained. He trained with Wonderboy.
Bro, don't
And
steal my lines.
I'm not.
I broke this down on our podcast. That was my
Hold
exact
on.
line.
Let me finish. Let me
come
finish,
up
you
with
son
no
of a
shit.
bitch. Let me finish.
I'm not your ghost
if
writer.
If Rory gives him space, it's going to be a disaster. If Rory stays in boxing wrestling distance, he's going to win this fight. But I don't know if you can do that now. I don't know if you can do that with Wonderboy. Wonderboy may have figured out distance.
Eddie, you want to bet on
He may
this?
have figured out how to keep a guy like that away.
This is just way too close to call.
Those back kicks,
Exactly.
side kicks,
Great
right
bet.
on us.
Let me hear what Brendan thinks.
I'll take.
Can I hear what Brendan thinks? I'll get to you next. I want to hear what
I
you
think
guys
Rory
think.
has too many tools. He's too smart, and they've trained together before at TriStar, and Faraz helped Wonderboy out a bunch, so they know his tricks, and I think Rory wins this fight. And it's good for the sport because he's a free agent, and he can go test the free market waters. So it changes the sport for the good.
Interesting. Eddie Bravo, what do you think?
It's too close to call.
That's why we should bet.
But if I had a gun to my head, I would go with. You're right. On paper, you're right. Rory
too many
MacDonald
tools.
does have too many tools, but
Because he can
I just
strike
think
and wrestle.
Stephen Thompson, he's just so quick coming in and out. I'm gonna just with that kind of shit, just this explosiveness.
It's so difficult because
I'm
Rory's
gonna
so
go with
good.
that just for a goof.
Both the analysts picked Wonderboy on UFC tonight, by the way.
Here's the thing,
It's
though.
tough.
Like, Wonderboy has been hit before. Didn't Ellenberger tag him?
Yes.
He did, right?
And Matt Brown.
Yeah, Matt Brown. Well, Matt Brown was in
a
his
grinding
verse,
fight.
but in his words, he said that he was overtrained going into that fight, and then he made some mistakes.
Aren't we all?
And it's totally possible that's the truth. But he also fought Matt motherfucking Brown, and you might feel like you got overtrained if you fight Matt motherfucking
Yes, that
Brown.
pressure, son.
Matt Brown will put some pressure on you, and you'll be
Yeah.
looking for solutions.
He's immortal.
He takes you to a dark place.
Yeah.
And
A
if
dark
you've never
cardio
been to that
place.
dark place before, you might think, man, someone poisoned my fucking soup.
100%. Nah, bitch. That's not Matt Brown cardio.
Poison my soup.
That's that
draining
immortal cardio,
He's
son.
just beating that ass and draining you in a way that only
Yeah.
a dude who's died and been brought back to life by EMTs can do.
Besides,
For real.
besides
For real.
Carlos Condit,
Only him and Donna
but
can
wait,
bring that pain.
Besides
Yeah.
Carlos Condit, when he was really young, the only person Rory MacDonald's lost to, I believe, is Robbie Lawler. Am I right?
He lost to Carlos Condit. He lost to Robbie Lawler.
That's it. That I can think of.
And he was beating
you know who else can bring
Carlos
that,
Condit.
bring that kind of darkness? Court McGee.
Corbin, well, yeah,
He
because
brings
he
that
died
same
from meth
darkness.
or some
He
shit.
brings that same
You
darkness.
talking about that touch of death darkness?
That touch of death
There's
darkness.
there's Dada, there's fucking the
Listen.
immortal Matt Brown, and there's Court McGee.
Court McGee might lose some fights, and he's a very, very tough guy, but he's in a very, very difficult division with a lot of very tough guys. But there's a darkness that Court brings when he starts beating
and
that
you
ass.
going dark too.
He beats that ass in a very fucking animalistic, clinical
For
way,
reals.
like a technical, clinical way, where he's seen the edge.
Because he has technique from the Grim Reaper, is what you're saying.
He's been to the edge of time.
For reals.
They both have come back. Him and Matt Brown.
It's nuts.
They carry with them some Harry Potter shit.
Yep.
It's like frighteners in this bitch.
This is why this could never be on television.
Never.
You understand, folks?
Never.
Dude, I'm
cannot
gonna make a
sell
call.
out.
I haven't made a call yet. I'm gonna go with
Okay. Can I say?
yeah.
I think I agree with you guys that if you looked at it on paper, Rory is he's a more difficult challenge because he has more tools and he can knock guys out that are legit strikers like Tarek Safadine. His knockout of Tarek Safadine was big because Safadine's like a very, very skillful striker, and Safadine ran a clinic on Nate Marquardt to win the Strikeforce welterweight title. It was a clinic of leg kicks and technique and footwork. He's a really good striker. So for Rory to knock him out the way he did is pretty stunning. And it's Rory's interchanges between wrestling and striking that can make a big difference in this fight.
GSP
because
style.
Rory's fluid in that, whereas Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, unless he figures out a way to put Rory on his back early and shake him up, the way Bosey tried to do, but the danger with that is Rory has a wicked fucking guard. He's fast off of his back, he moves quick, and he tries to set up sweeps and omoplatas.
He went to
And
draw Metamoris.
Right, and you might not have seen it before, but it is legit
Nasty.
as fuck. He went to a draw with JT Torres.
And did well.
Do you understand, folks? I mean, you don't understand. Like, this is like the top of the food chain Brazilian jiu-jitsu competitors.
He's a killer.
He's
Look
in
at
that.
him.
He's in that breed. So
He's also in
if Rory
his
MacDonald,
homeland.
exactly. So if Rory MacDonald can go to the ground at that high of a level and survive without getting tapped, got really close to getting tapped, and his arm got jacked
He really
up,
did get.
but he
He
didn't
was
tap.
in trouble.
Oh, his arm was fucked. He was saying,
Super fucked. And he had a fight like 3 weeks later,
Yep.
4 weeks later. Nuts.
he's a madman.
He's also the Canadian serial killer.
But dude, I'm telling you, man, one of the things that came about of him being on my podcast is people got to really understand you're only seeing him in his game face.
He's
so
a
of course he
great
seems
guy.
like he's a psycho.
No,
but when he was on the
no.
podcast,
He's hilarious.
man, when he was on this podcast, people got a chance to see him like as an actual person, and they're like, "Oh, I've only been seeing you when you're competing."
That's right.
No, he's the best.
Dude.
What,
me
just-
and him
what do you
have
mean,
had
just-
some great nights
Sense of
at
humor and stuff?
nightclubs.
Funny
The
guy?
best.
Oh
Really
my
the
God.
best.
This is a perfect example of what we were talking about. We were talking about with Connor. This is a guy that should be applauded. He is a fucking intelligent savage.
There's a superstar who's never won a belt.
Exactly.
Face of Canada.
Exactly.
Never
Well,
won a
he came
belt.
that close.
Still didn't win the belt.
Good
there
Lord,
you go,
what a
Joe.
fight.
His nose, his
Hey,
nose.
hey, B,
Well,
you know
he
when I
is-
say dick her down?
Yeah.
That came from him. There was
Wow.
at the time I was
Look at that
single,
face,
he was
man.
single. There's a bunch of girls in Vegas. He goes, it's time to separate that mother hen from the goose and dig them down.
Oh, he's
That's
good.
Rory MacDonald's quote.
Oh.
And I went, what the
Dude,
fuck
look
did you
at
just
that
say?
face.
And I had to write it into my phone to remember the next morning.
He's an animal,
Separate
man.
that mother head.
Because there's one girl like
It's a
taking
funny-
care of all of them.
That's a funny piece of advice.
He's good.
He's the best.
Listen, dude,
his nose looks different.
He's
well,
hilarious.
He's taking a lot of shots, man.
Yep.
The Robbie Lawler fight, he got his nose destroyed.
Yep.
Wonder
He's
Boy? You mean Wonder Man? He's 33.
He's a really good dude, man. He's a really good dude.
Yeah.
I'm
They're
a big
both
fan.
great guys.
They're both
They're
great guys.
just good guys. at
You know
sport.
both of them pretty well, right?
Really, really well. Training partners for a long time. But Roy MacDonald, just for the good of the sport, if he wins and tests his free agency, it helps the growth of the sport.
But let me just say this about Wonderboy. Wonderboy is extraordinary in his ability to close the distance and land these like thunderous shots out of nowhere.
Probably the best in the world.
His combinations are so fluid that they're enough for him to land 1 or 2 hard shots in
Yes.
every exchange.
Yes.
And if he does that, if he somehow or another can tempt Rory into some hypnotic
Yes.
dance
Yes.
and
Ain't
do
happening.
some high-level shit on him, it's all in his ability to stuff the takedown. If he feels super confident in his ability to stuff the takedown because he's been training with Weidman so much,
He
and
hasn't
look
been
how-
training with him.
But look how
Weidman's
much
hurt.
I'm
for
going-
this fight.
yeah.
But
That's
up
a big
until then,
deal.
it made a big
I'm going with
difference in his
Wonderboy.
technique.
I think Wonderboy's going to win this
And
fight.
his understanding of how to stuff takedowns. His takedown stuffing is at a very high level. It absolutely has something to do with training with Weidman, but it's not saying that he's so silly that he would substitute that and not have a high-level wrestler test him. He's not dumb. He's a
think
smart guy, and so is his dad.
If I can call, I think Roy eats his lunch. That's what I think.
I think
Wow.
Wonderboy's
I know,
going
it's
to win.
crazy.
I am
And I love both of them.
100%.
I love both of them.
I am 100% 50-50 on this fight.
Yeah.
100%.
Just to be controversial, because you know how I am, guys. I'm going though.
Hey, are you a rebel?
I'm going with Wonderboy.
Yeah. Wonder Boy by knockout, Brian. Kick, knockout.
Well, listen.
I think Roy
if
eats
there's
his
anybody who
dick
can
like
knock him out,
Kobayashi.
if there's anybody who can knock him out, it's Rory. I mean,
people-
it's Wonderboy.
If people get mad at me being non-committal, it's not because I like both of these gentlemen. It's really honestly because this sport is so fucking crazy.
Yeah.
that
It's whoever
I've seen
shows
too
up
much.
tonight.
Dude,
Whoever has the better game
Mike
plan wins.
Bisping knocked out Luke Rockhold.
I woke up
in
my
the
fucking
first
baby.
round.
My baby fell asleep, and I finally put him to sleep. First time ever I put him to sleep. Mike knocks him out. I love Mike. Good, but I went, oh shit! My kid started crying. I went, fuck, Mike. I even texted him, went, you woke up my kid, but it was worth it.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I wish
I
Mike-
felt like crying when Bisping won. I felt like crying. 10 fucking years.
I was happy for him.
Fuck
I wish
you.
he hadn't gotten on top of the fence and gone, fuck you. That was a little.
Whatever.
Who
Really?
cares?
The guy,
It's a
he was
fight.
on a roller coaster ride
That's
of
Bisping.
emotions.
Yeah,
But
it's
him
good
winning
guy.
the fight and winning the world title like that, you can't fault him for that.
No.
Talk to him when the
guess it's a big
dust
deal.
settles.
Yeah.
Talk to him on Monday, and he's barely
Yes.
back to
Yes.
Michael Bisping.
Yes.
Bisping,
Yes.
Dan Henderson, 2
my
UFC title.
God.
They both walk away. It's the best
I've
fucking
never seen a-
Wizard of Oz story of all time.
I've never seen a knockout like that.